As inflation keeps hurting people's pocketbooks, people are spending less green. Also feeling the pinch, Nevada's budding cannabis industry. And we're told there have been some job cuts. To boost sales, there's calls for change to state law so customers could have the choice to buy more.
We are not a tourist dispensary, we're a local dispensary. We're so grateful for. 420 marked our biggest day.
At the Tree of Life dispensary off Jones, sales coming off the 420 holiday were pretty lit. But across Nevada and cannabis companies nationwide, there's a noticeable slow burn in consumer spending. State officials say though dispensary visits are up, customers spend less on each purchase.
We are struggling as an industry. Revenues are down.
The Chamber of Cannabis says some Nevada companies made tough choices like job cuts. That's why the industry is backing a bill to boost revenue and change state law to help customers buy more. If it passes, the purchase max would grow from 1 ounce of cannabis flower to 2.5 and from 3.5 grams of concentrate to 7, similar to other states.
That will increase revenues all around.
Nevada's revenue has been on a roller coaster, surging after 2020, past $1 billion in 2021, then a dip. For month over month from last fiscal year to now, profits are down, but finally starting to catch up and recover. State officials say there's plenty of factors why. No more stimulus checks, inflation, and growing competition from other states that just gave a green light to cannabis.
It would help the industry as well as the customer. A person in Las Vegas can walk into a bar or a casino and buy however much alcohol they want.
Tree of Life backs changes at the register for customers and say it could save you time and an extra drive.
Customers will be able to simply purchase more, make less trips. It'll probably be better for the customer overall. As long as we do volume, it'll be great for business.
So that bill's still in a Senate committee. The deadline to pass both chambers is May 26th.